Alright, let's get this started. All I'm gonna say is, this one gonna be a little bit different. That's it. Alright, what up guys? So, we're back today doing another bedroom interview with myself, Cult5ive. And to say the least, this one is going to be a little bit different. I've been asked to do a more, we'll say, critical style of interview, and I have some questions here on my other phone that I'm going to be using to answer those questions, and y'all will get to see the questions. I'm gonna put them somewhere on the screen, but y'all will get to see those questions and I'll be giving my answers to those questions. So yeah, let's get into it. So to start off, who am I as an artist and as a person? So first of all, to reintroduce myself, I'm Cult5ive. It's nice to meet y'all. I am an artist. I am a rapper from Calgary, Alberta. It's in Canada, if y'all didn't know. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm also a rock star. So I make rock music, specifically punk grunge rock music, and I'm a rapper, so I make kind of basically everything in rap music, but I mainly stick to what's called emo rap music, as some people would like to describe it. It's more melodical, kind of dark, and very like blunt to the point, kind of descriptive about certain topics and certain ways of being. It's also kind of called that because of the style of artists who decide to make the music, and so, some people have described me as being emo, goth, and that kind of like punk style. So that's why it's called that. But I also make boom bap style rap music, so old 90s, 80s style rap music, and I also make other things on the side like EDM and very rarely, but also some kind of like pop punk style music. So that is who I am as, I'd say, as an artist. I'm myself. I'm kind of like outgoing as an artist. My name Cult5ive represents the idea of fans looking at this person who they might think is super famous, or look at, you know, someone who they follow devoutly, I'd say, and in that way people could look at that and represent that as kind of like a cult, or kind of like a very, very devoted style of following to a person, and that is where I get the cult part of my name from. And five, not entirely being a religious thing, but a more spiritual thing. Talking about the number 5 is a divine or a holy number, and it's representing the house. So having your place intact, having yourself intact, being solid within yourself, and being, you know, standing on your business and standing on the things that you do, and sticking up for yourself and sticking up for the things that you represent and the things that you support and things of that such. So those two ideas, I took them and combined them, and that's how I got my name Cult5ive. Because, well, I want to have a good, strong following, and I want to have people who look at me and respect me and listen to my music in a way that, you know, they're there to follow me, and they're there to listen and be a part of my life in some kind of way, shape, or form. I don't want people to be, let's say, devoted in the way that like it's like giving all praise to me and looking at me as like something more than I am. No, I'm just a person, I'm just an artist, and I'm like y'all, a little bit different because I'm uniquely myself, of course, but as a person, I'm just me, and that's simply it. And that's how I want to be looked at and respected, as, you know, as someone who you could be a friend with, or someone who you could share things that you might need to, or, you know, someone who, when you're listening to my music, you can listen to me and understand who I am and how I can relate to you as a person and as an artist. So that's kind of it. And, you know, again, like I stand on everything that I do. I never back down from that, and I never back out of anything that I've ever done. I respect who I am, and I respect everyone who follows me and everyone who listens to me and everyone who's around me. And I would hope that that is an equal exchange. But of course, if you don't, then I have the place and the time to remove those people from my circle, or remove those people from my area, as you could say. So that's really it, is, that's what I am and who I am as an artist. So I'm just gonna grab water real quick. Towards me as a person, still the same person. I'm not gonna give out my name, but I'm still the same person. I'm just a guy, like any other person. I have hobbies, I have things I like to do, and I have stuff that I share an enthusiasm for, like playing video games, or making clothing, or making music, watching movies, things like that, dressing myself up, not just for interviews and shit like that, but also for myself, to make myself feel good. I don't necessarily have any fears. I have things that I overthink. I'm an overthinker. I got ADHD. Yeah, I think that's about that for what I got going on. I mean, I've been through my struggles and my time of growing up and getting through shit. And that's kind of made me the person I am today. And I like to talk about that through my music, and talk about the things that I do, like smoking weed, doing drugs, shit like that, partying, both the good side and the bad side of that, dealing with good friends who turn fake on me, bad relationships, all that kind of shit. And, all that has kind of made me the person I am today. And I know that's kind of hard to explain to an audience, but as someone who, this is kind of my job, I'm trying my best to, but it's easier to explain this to someone who's around me in person, because it's more of like a casual conversation. People around me who know me in multiple different ways, but kind of just generally the same. I'm Cult5ive, I'm the same person, but there's a happy side of me, there's a sad side of me, there's an angry side of me, and only like certain groups of people will ever get to see that and see what that's kind of like. And the closer you are to me, of course, the more you're going to see of all those combined. But yeah, I have ups and downs like any other person. And yeah, that's really what I could explain about that. Over time, I'm going to try to explain more of who I am as a person to my audience, to my fans, and try to be a little bit more open about that in a way that I can. But as for right now, I'm just not in the place to be able to do that. I'm still trying to like figure out how to do that appropriately, you could say. But yeah, I'd say that's it for that question. So why haven't I done a radio show yet, or been on a podcast other than this one? Really, I don't actually have much of a reason for that. I'm just, kind of still starting out as an artist, and still as a person who's trying to get more into, we'll say, the proper mainstream side of making music. I don't want to be like one of those weird ass famous people who are doing all this and that have crazy ass sponsorships where every time they talk it's like a brand deal. I want to be, still able to like fuck with the underground and be able to make music that charts and maybe gets on the radio one day. Although my music is kind of explicit, so I don't expect it to ever get on the radio one day, but it'd be nice. But other than that, yeah, I don't really have a reason for not being on any other podcasts. I just, haven't been invited yet. Not sure if anyone wants to, but hey, if you want to, after this, I'd be more than happy to, feel free to ask in my DMs on Instagram or TikTok, or, drop something on the comments of this video. But yeah, that's kind of really it. It's just I haven't been invited yet. I haven't been able to get on anything, but I also kind of haven't had the time in this particular moment because of all the things that I am working on with music and little side projects here and there. So that's what I'd say is the answer to that. How come y'all see me making YouTube videos when I say all the time that I'm not a YouTuber? That's a good question. So the reason I do that is because I want to share parts of my life with my audience, with you guys, that not a lot of people get to see. And especially as someone who posts a lot online and tries to have a following and build up an audience online, y'all won't always get to see everything that I do unless you're like friends with me in person. So the things that I try to do is just show y'all different things that I'm passionate about and things that I like to enjoy and things that I like to do my best to give a portrayal of, which is as of recently I've been streaming a little bit more and freestyling on there, but I've also been working on a project that y'all have to tune in to see. But I've been working on a project specifically with fashion that I've been trying to stream and make videos on, that I think people who follow me at least would love to see, and anyone who may just pass by might enjoy or might not enjoy at all. So it's things like that that I kind of like to show off, going on little road trips, doing little vlogs like that. But the difference between me and a YouTuber is a YouTuber's entire career is to make videos to post on the platform and to show off their selves in whatever way they choose, making specifically content that could relate around what they do as a YouTuber, or posting videos that are like all vlogs or travel trips or doing like challenges and shit like that, all for the sake of making videos on YouTube the way anyone else would for a social media platform, but just specifically for YouTube. And so for myself, I am an artist, I'm a rapper and a rock star. I mainly call myself a rock star because that's what I am. And the reason for that is because I don't just post stuff on YouTube. I post stuff on every platform that I have, which is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, so on and so forth. But my residual content, the stuff that y'all see the most, is music, and that is posted on major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music, iTunes, and SoundCloud. And just to give another comparison, I'm not a SoundCloud rapper anymore. I guess at one point you could have called me that, because I did start on SoundCloud making music for SoundCloud, and that's where that name kind of comes from. It's not just like some title people throw around towards other people. Like, I guess it's kind of used more as an insult nowadays, but it's originally was just to show that someone would post music on SoundCloud, and that's what that meant, like XXXTentacion, he used to be a SoundCloud rapper, but he didn't just post music on SoundCloud. Not anymore. Now his music is posted on every other platform. He just blew up off of SoundCloud. And so in that comparison, that's where someone could call me that, but truthfully, I'm just a rock star. I post music everywhere, and y'all can see that through the content that I have on every platform, even on regular social media, truthfully. So this is a good question. What's been happening with my music as of lately? So to give a proper update, I guess, I have been trying to keep things more secretive because I want to really share the things that I want to share with y'all. But I've been trying to give more updates on social media. Like, I've been sharing that I made 2 more YouTube accounts, specifically one for streaming, and that goes along with my main channel where I'll post music and I'll post the vlogging videos and other little videos like that. But I've also made a Cult5ive Leaks channel, which is strictly for unreleased music that I'm ready to release, things that are like freestyles and unfinished tracks, raw tracks, mixed up tracks that just aren't maybe something that I would have wanted to post on major platforms, and things like that. And little songs, man, shit, even like really big songs that I have that I just want to drop for funsies that y'all get to have and enjoy. That's what that channel is for, is to be able to post, leaks and unreleased music that y'all normally wouldn't get to see from me, but will get to see on that platform. And it's a way for y'all to support me without supporting someone who's literally stealing and cheesing off of my music, making ends meet off of my shit, when that's not fair to me as a creative and as an artist. So that's on that side. With my music as of right now, what I'm working on is a couple of projects, couple of albums, I'm not going to say anything too much about that, but I'm working on a couple of albums. I will say that one of them is finished and that the other one is in the works, but I'm not going to say anything about when it's going to be released or anything like that. I just kind of want y'all to keep up with me and be ready for when I do decide to, because I like to do things in the moment, you know, not just for the sake of promoting it, but for the sake of sharing things as it comes along, because it's a part of a story, it's a part of my life, and when the time comes, those projects will be released, but as of right now, it's not. So I have albums in the works and on the way, you could say, and I have singles that I've been working on endlessly, and I'm going to be dropping more music as time comes along. My last one was released maybe weeks ago. I don't remember the exact date, but it was released weeks ago, and that one's Smoke and Mirrors. And as for right now, I think that's pretty good in the place that I'm at. I want to let the songs kind of ride out and, you know, let more people discover the music that I do have out, because the point of dropping music is so that when new people come along, they get to hear new music. And same with the fans who already are sticking around, you know, my family who's been here since either the day I started or whatever along the path up until now. And for all those people, I want to give them just as much as I do to any newcomers to my music. And I want to be able to allow people to hear the things that I make in the moment that I make them, you could say, or around the time that I make them. And that's not the easiest thing to do when you're just always dropping music, you know. It's hard to keep up with someone. So I'm just letting things chill for now so that people can catch up. If they haven't heard all my tracks, they can catch up and get to the place where it's like, all right, Cult5ive when you drop in the next one type shit. And it allows for people to, you know, enjoy and go back and replay those tracks so they don't have to like be like, oh, whoa, he just dropped a new one, I gotta go listen to that. And, you know, yeah, it's basically that, just allowing people to hear the music that I've already put out and allow that to be enjoyed for the time being until I'm absolutely ready to release more music. So let's say I'm giving it a little bit of time before anything new drops, but I will always give an update and try my best, unless it's a secret one or it's like it's out, one of those kind of tracks. I will always give updates and allow people to hear and see and acknowledge when the time for a new song is going to be dropped. I have special projects riddled throughout my library of music, and I'm just waiting for the right time for everything to drop. Do I really freestyle my music? What y'all think? What y'all think? Y'all think I'm cat? Y'all think I'm full of myself and shit? Hell nah. Hell nah. Nah, I fucking freestyle everything I make. Everything. Every single song since I say about 18 turning 19. So like late 18 turning 19. And I am turning 22 now. Since that point, I've been freestyling every single track I made. Everything of my oldest music, like the just very first starting out songs, those songs are written, and I always try to acknowledge when it is a written freestyle, because there's a difference. But everything else, unless it's acknowledged and properly labeled as everything I've ever made, freestyled. And I prove that all the time through my freestyles on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and through my streams where when I do a freestyle stream, y'all see it 30 minutes or 17 minutes or 10 minutes is like the least I've done for a stream. And then, you know, I got like 2, 3, 4, 5 minute freestyles just in like little videos. But for everything, I basically be doing straight freestyles all the time. See, all motherfuckers can go check those out at some point, but I really be doing that. Where people be capping like, oh yeah, I freestyle that. Nah, bitch, you wrote it on your phone. You see me? I be really doing that shit. I rip through it off the top every single time. And I always like to practice and keep up with myself and try my best to give videos of those too, because I have shitty days. Everyone has shitty days, but hey, shit, my shitty days are fucking some of the best shitty days ever, because it's practice for me to get better and better. And then I have really fucking good days where, You know, you see me spitting endlessly. No breaks, no water, no nothing. Like, I really be getting to that shit. And so yeah, everything I make is freestyled. Everything I make is freestyled, especially since the last 3 years. Everything I've made has been freestyled. No cap, no kizzy. This one. Why would I still keep making music when the audience says my music isn't good? Well, to them, to anyone who's saying my music isn't good, music is subjective, just as any art form is. It's a personal opinion. Everybody out here who says my music isn't good, okay, that's your opinion. But towards everyone else who takes the time out of the day to listen to my music, for better or for worse, they must find some attraction to my music to be able to want to listen to it, you know? Doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds to the full 3 to 5 minutes. That's proving something, and that my music is good enough to be listened to. And that's proving that my music deserves the time and attention to be listened to. But, you know, like I said, it's subjective. There are people out there who listen to my songs one day and are like, it's shit, and then come back and they're like, oh, you know, I fuck with this. I should have given this more time. And there's people who are like 3 months down the road who are like, I think I've just grown out of my Cult5ive phase. That's it. That's all I can do. And you know what? That's okay. That's just how it is. You know, that's music. That's the business. That's, people get bored sometimes and people think what they like to think. But, you know, there's people out there who will always like my music, and there's people out there who will endlessly support me. Kind of like a cult. And, you know, for those people, I'm forever grateful. And you know what? If one day everyone's like, fuck you, Cult5ive, we don't like you, all that shit, then honestly, it doesn't matter, because where I started and how I'm going to keep going is I make music for myself first and foremost. My music is strictly for me to listen to, but it's also for everyone else to enjoy, is what I always like to say. My music is for me to listen to, but it's for y'all to enjoy. And so we're here sharing my music together. Because as an artist, what's the point of making music if it's for a bag? What's the point of making music if it's to, you know, make ends meet? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a true artist in my eyes. Them motherfuckers, like, I get it. People come from the gutter. People come from struggle. And music is creatively what they're good at. You know what I mean? But for the people who stick in through and through and say that music is strictly for making money, they're not real artists. They're not real. They ain't shit. They're not comparable to anyone who took the time to look at it from that perspective. Yeah, music's for making money. I'm making guap off of this and I'm feeling good. But then switch their life and their perspective around to, all right, you know what? I've been looking at my music in the wrong way. And I can acknowledge that at this point, I don't need that anymore. My music still sounds good then. And you know what? Maybe I would listen to it. Maybe I wouldn't listen to it because of where my mindset was at. But now I'm going to take the time to really focus and put in music for the sake of being an artist, not for the sake of nothing else. I don't care about the attention, I don't care about nothing. Just making music and making music for myself. And then there's the motherfuckers who absolutely make music for themselves and make music for the sake of being an artist to share what they can do expressively and creatively. Those are real rappers. Those are real rock stars. Those are real country ass yeehaw motherfuckers who make music. I don't like country, but hey, those people are still real ass artists, and comparable to some rappers, out the bag with it. Those are real pop stars. Those are real people who actually be in this game for the legitimate reason of making something beautiful that they can call art. Towards everyone else, and to circle back around, that's also the point of why people might want to listen to an artist. You know, if you look at me as an artist and you think I'm this and that, well, that's just a personal opinion that you assume about me. I make music for myself, and I'm stating that and dictating that clearly right now. But towards anyone who doesn't see this, and towards anyone who's just like popping in for the sake of a one-time thing, that's cool. If you don't like my music, you don't like my music. That's okay. But I like my music. And so whatever you say, for positive or for negative, if you love my music, that's okay. But it doesn't matter, truly. It doesn't matter. I appreciate every single compliment. I appreciate every single piece of advice and constructive criticism Shit, even the negative sometimes. I appreciate the negative sometimes because you took the time in your day to say something to me in a way that, you know, you passionately felt. As long as you're not coming from my throat, you know, if it's just like, hey, fuck you, your music's shit, you know, okay, that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, but, you know, your opinion is your opinion. I love your music. Okay, thank you. Your opinion is your opinion. I would take it and I'll appreciate it, but it doesn't mean shit. To me, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean shit because my music is good. My music is worth what I know my music is worth, and that's what means everything to me. Next question. A lot of people comment negative things on your posts and videos. Do you pay attention to the comments? Depends. For the most part, yeah, I pay attention to all the comments and I read them. But I don't let it affect me. No, it's just words to me. But I do look at all the comments. I might not so much later on when I get more busy with life, but as for right now, yeah, I do. And I try to respond back to every single one of them, positive and negative. Unless it's just like the worst of the worst being said to me, then it's like, oh, okay, whatever. Then I'll just leave it. But for the most part, you know, if it's like something bad, like, oh, you could have done better, your music's blah 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 blah, whatever, or hey, good job, you know, you did amazing on this, what, you know, all that. I always try to take the time to respond to it, and I acknowledge every single comment, but I might not like necessarily like look. It's kind of like, yeah, you can call it like a blind man reading comments, you know, like I look at it, but I don't always perceive every comment that's being said, and I do try to say the best things that I can towards the people who comment on my videos, because, you know, everyone who says something on my videos I appreciate, and I thank. To all of you who have commented on my videos, thank you very deeply, very dearly. But, you know, sometimes it's just kind of like, you know, I might not be feeling it in the day, or I might, you know, see it as like something that's trying to like offend me, and I'm like, you know, whatever. So I don't really care too much. I just let it be what it be. But I always try my best to get back to everyone who comments on my videos, and who comments on my TikToks, and who comments on my Instagram and everything like that. So that's what I do. Hydration. Drink water too. So, do I think my audience and fans will still respect me and follow me after this interview? I mean, this one's pretty simple. I would hope so. But I can understand if people like don't necessarily fuck with me too much after this. You know, everyone has their own opinions, and everyone shares what they want to see and perceive about me as a person in the world. So I'm not too bothered by it. Of course, I love that there are people who will still stick around and still support me and still want to be here to see what comes out of my life and see what happens. But for the most part, I say like, I say 95. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty sure 95% of my audience will still stick around. And my fans, my true dedicated fans, and, you know, anyone who wants to become a fan of mine and part of the family that I call my fans, I know for a fact that they would want to stick around. You know, unless I'm on some fuck shit and, you know, like I decide to make a really bad choice, which I never will. Stating here right now, I never plan on making any terrible choices that would allow myself to be seen in a bad light. You know, like, I don't want to be a motherfucker who like gets famous and goes off and does like the most fucked up shit. No. But I do understand that sometimes I might make mistakes because, you know, I'm a person. That's just what happens. But I can promise that my mistakes won't be as bad as like fucking the worst that y'all have probably already seen. So yeah, I do think my fans and my followers and my audience who truly cares will stick around. Towards everyone else who's just watching this and is like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know. Those are the people I'm like, it's cool. They'll come back. Or they'll just go find someone else, you know? And that's cool. There's tons of artists out there. I'm not the only one, and that's fine. Are you aware of the articles that have been written about you? So yes, I am. I'm aware that there are articles that have been written about me. I don't know if there's any negative so far. I mean, there is one that I think is going to come out that might be in a different kind of light, but I do know that the articles about me so far have been all positive and have been respectful and showing off the things that I've done. And there's a few that have been just made about me, that I'll just talk about, like the things that I've done so far, my music, who I am as a person a little bit, and what kind of music I'm going to be making. And I think that there's one about my latest album, Solo Player, that might be coming out. I'm not sure about that, but other than that, yeah, that's kind of all I've seen so far. So yeah, kind of, you can say that. Do I consider myself to be famous or popular? Um, Maybe locally. I wouldn't say I'm like fucking, Beyonce, but I'd say I'm kind of popular. I got a following. I have people who listen to my music. I have people who follow me on social media. So I do get passed on the street sometimes, and people will be like, "Yo, Cult5ive." It hasn't happened too much as of lately, so it's like, yeah, I'd say I'm starting to be. I'd say I'm kind of popular. I wouldn't say I'm famous, but I am. I do have attention. I do have a bit of a following and a bit of a growing audience right now. So, kind of, yeah, kind of. Am I aware of the attention I'm receiving and how my popularity is being perceived? I say a little bit. I wouldn't say like I know to the extent of what it is, but I do know that I'm somewhat, like, yeah, like I said, somewhat gaining popularity, somewhat gaining attention and attraction. So, um, towards the first bit of this question, I'd say yeah, kind of, but towards my popularity being perceived, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if there's actually like a basis to understand that as of right now, like other than numbers, but I would say that it seems for the most part positive. I'd say that for the most part, it seems like people respect me and people do like what I'm doing, and people are going out of their way to follow me for the right reasons. But I do still get hate comments all the time, and that is what it is. But I don't think that there's anyone following me for the sake of just hating on me. If there is, I mean, hey, thanks for following. But towards the people who do like comment like negative shit, I don't really think it's like anything more than that. So I'd say like 98% of the following that I have so far is majority good, is positive. But there might be like a, I don't know, 1 to 5% chance that there are still some negative people or people who maybe just kind of follow me on some like weird shit, some fuck shit that maybe feel a little bit differently about me, is what I'd say. Am I aware of the past mistakes I've made and that they could be brought back up again? Yeah, I mean, that's life. There are people out there who feel malicious and have a maniacal intent to, try to bring someone down, and that someone might be me one day, but I don't really care too much. Everyone has past mistakes, and for the most part, I wouldn't say that anything I've done has been like too out of pocket. The worst things that I've done have been in, I want to say junior high. Yeah, junior high. And nothing like too crazy, to be honest. I don't think high school was too terrible for me. I mean, as an adult now, like I wouldn't say that there's been anything that I've done that could be used against me or anything that's been like perceived as terrible. But I sent news to a shorty once. I don't think she ever gonna leak it though. Back in junior high, I used to be on some like fuck shit. I used to like trap a little bit, if y'all know what that is. But other than that, like I don't really think that there's anything that could be really used against me in any kind of way. I smoke weed and vape and drink alcohol, but yeah, that's kind of it. Like I don't really think that there's anything out there that could be seen as too bad that I've done, and I don't mind like explaining for myself and if I can remember my thought process, my thought process back then like I could explain those things. But other than that, like, yeah, I don't really think that there's too much bad that I would say that I've done, or anything that would be seen as like, oh, this guy is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of just stuck to what I did and got it how I lived, and that was it. I mean, yeah, that's really it. I don't really know how much more to explain that, other than, you know, like I said, the things that I've done in the past are in the past. And for what mistakes I have made, I don't think that they would be seen as anything more than a childish mistake from a teenager at the time. Younger than that, but that's really it. If I can think of it, what is the worst thing that I've done? Give me a second. So the worst, there's been a couple, but kind of like the two worst things I did was trapping and robbery when I was 13. Yeah, I used to do like minor robbery when I was 13 years old. But other than that, I like, and you know, like I said, trapping. But the trapping bit was more so in a place where I really needed money, and I really needed to kind of build up some financial to be able to get myself into the place that I am now. So I don't regret it. I don't regret any of the things I've done. But I can acknowledge that, you know, you shouldn't do that stuff. You know, stay in school, be a good kid. But at the time I was stupid, and I made decisions that, you know, no one really should. But in terms of at least trapping, I'm not going to speak towards the robbery being like a good thing. That was like, it was just hitting licks, you know. And that was stupid. That was just a bad choice that I made. But towards trapping, I did feel that I needed to do that at the time and build up that amount of money to allow myself to be able to afford things like equipment for music and afford clothing that I needed at the time. Afford to make my situation, what you see now, a little more comfortable. Like, my room used to be pretty barren, but yeah, some of that money went into allowing myself to get stuff that I needed. Actually, including this phone that I have today that y'all are seeing. Not this one. This one was a hand-me-down, but the one I'm recording this video on, that was afforded by some trap money. So, you know, it's, I don't condone it, but I understand, get it how you live. So that's it. Why do I show myself vaping, smoking weed, and doing things like that, like drinking alcohol, and kind of like that party side of myself? To answer that question, the reason I do show myself vaping and smoking weed, kind of like, you know, partying, being kind of like hardcore with that shit, is because it's a part of my life. It's a part of the truth of who I am. And while I don't exactly smoke weed too much anymore, by personal choice, I do still have those videos up, and I still have, you know, videos of me ripping the dab pen and shit, and smoking blunts and all that, because it would be wrong of me as a person, as an artist, someone who shares my life and myself on platforms such as YouTube and otherwise. It would be wrong of me to cut those bits out for anyone. I mean, like, the people who should be watching my content is around the same age range as me. So like, maybe youngest being 16, 17 to 18, 19, 20, 21 plus. And that's just a rough guess. I don't actually know entirely who watches my content, who can watch my content, but I'm sure there's like, it's quite a broad category. So I don't feel it's right to kind of hide and like discredit that side of me just because someone else is uncomfortable about it, or someone else feels it's wrong. I mean, I know what's right and wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I do understand what's right and wrong, but I can acknowledge that if I was to not show you all of me, you'd think I'm the fucking like perfect pretty princess, fucking Mr. Right guy over here. You'd think I'm like fucking cue ball Mr. Clean, like I'm perfect. That's not the truth. The truth is that I'm a person again, one like all of y'all, and the only difference is that I just choose to do different things with my life, and that includes vaping, smoking weed, partying, drinking, and like I have popped pills before. I have done some other illicit substances that I would rather not describe for YouTube, but the truth is there, and I talk about it in my songs, and I talk about it through my life. And it's not that I'm ashamed of it. It's not anything like that. The truth is that I feel that everything I do, if it's my life, I should include it. And I feel like everyone who cares and who would like to see that will see that. But I mean, like, if you're not supposed to watch my videos, don't be watching my videos. If you're not old enough yet, or if it's not your kind of thing, then just don't be watching my videos. And that's truly what it comes down to. So that's why I don't hide anything. And that's why I don't hide anything that, people will be like, oh, shame. Don't do that. That's it. That's the truth of that. What's with the style change up? Why am I wearing rings? What's with the hair? Things like that. I'm not wearing my chain, my big EXO chain right now. Things like that. So for the clothing is clothing. I like wearing what I like, and that style hasn't really changed too much. But in terms of my hair, y'all can see it's shorter now. I'm wearing rings. My jewelry is a little bit different. In terms of that, I just decided I wanted to switch up the style. I don't really care how people perceive me. If you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you don't, and that's okay. But I like the way I look now. Actually, my hair feels a lot better than it did before. Before it was heavier, and I made a video about me cutting off my hair. Yeah, so the reason I did that was just because I wanted a style switch up, and I like how I am now. I feel a little bit more comfortable. I feel a little bit better than I did before, and I knew it was time to evolve and change how I was before and get to the next stage of my life and progress in who I am as a person. In terms of the jewelry, it's just jewelry. People switch up their style all the time. I felt like this was a little bit better, and this is more comfortable to me, and I wanted to, upgrade the drip a little bit. Oh, part 2 to this question. Why do I dress and present myself the way I do? The way I dress and present myself is perceived differently all the time, but a giant thing of the way I dress is because I like it. Some people think I'm emo, some people think I'm goth, some people think I'm like a skater, punk kid. I just say I'm dressing as me. I just look the way I look, and I like how I look. I wear colors sometimes, but for the most part, I like wearing all black fits. I do have some shades in there, some whites in there, but other than that, my clothing just is what I wear that makes me feel like me. It makes me feel proper. Now we go into the wrap up. So, for one of our last questions, any last thoughts? To my fans, to my audience, and to anyone watching this video, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I know this is more of a critical and more of a negative style of an interview that I've done, but it is one that I feel like it needed to be done anyways. And I was asked to do these questions, and I had no problem with doing it. And I feel like towards any of y'all who watch this video and you think now otherwise of me, that's completely fine. I understand. It is what it is, but I mean, if you weren't fully aware that a person can change, and you weren't fully aware that a person can be not all that you thought they were, that's what it is. And I wouldn't say that you're a real fan to begin with, and not someone who actually cared about me as a person. But towards everyone else who's sticking around and who would like to stick around and continue to watch me grow as a person and grow with my music and whatever comes after, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking it through. And I appreciate every single one of you, and I love every single one of you, truly, truly. Because without y'all, I wouldn't be growing as an artist specifically. As a person, there's always room to grow, but as an artist, y'all do help in making me more of an artist and making me more of who I want to be in terms of Cult5. And I truly do appreciate every single one of you. As for that, thank you for watching the interview. Thank you for sticking around until the end if you did. Y'all know me. I don't like to ask for nothing else. Just that. Maybe go listen to my music if you want to. But other than that, have a better day than I do, and be a better person than I am. That's all I would ask. That's it. Yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this interview, and I hope y'all enjoyed seeing just like a different side of questions that I'm asked and the life that I live. So yeah. And for our final question of the day, is my music worth it? Am I worth listening to? Honestly, I'll leave that up to y'all. Do y'all think I'm worth it? Do y'all think I'm worth listening to? Do y'all think my music's worth sharing? Do y'all think my music is worth being out on every platform and being listened to by the entire world? I think I do. I think I'm worth it. I think my music is worth it. Not just in a personal opinion, like, yeah, I love myself, but I also think truthfully that my music deserves to be heard and deserves to be seen. And I think that it is worth it. And I think that to anyone watching this video and would be saying otherwise, or anyone watching this video and who maybe didn't get to see this entire side of me at one point, I'd say they would think that this is worth it. They think that my music is worth it, and they think that what I'm doing is probably going to help someone one day, if not already. And that's a chunk of the reason that I make my music, is it's worth it to someone. Someone out there needs it, not just me. That's it. So to wrap this up, thank you guys for watching another Bedroom Interviews with myself, Cult5ive. Thank you for sticking around until the end if you did, and thank you for taking the time to listen to what I had to say and to the questions that were given to me. Thank you for being here with me, and thank you for watching anything that I make, truthfully. Yeah, and I think we're gonna call it here. So until next time, Bedroom Interviews with your host, Cult5ive. See y'all next time. Got some new memories, stash, mix them up. Like my liquor in my cup, gotta fill